Let's play! Hi there guys, and welcome to a little opinion piece I'm doing. I don't think I've done one of these in a long time, or possibly ever, but thank you for tuning in. You obviously clicked on this video wanting to hear me talk about the Smash Bros stuff, but again, I'm gonna say, this is some spoiler territory, so if you don't want to know about the stuff that got revealed with the early release and stuff, don't watch this video, wait for it to come out. It'll be kind of hard to avoid on the internet, because honestly, even though I was actively looking, it was still everywhere. Just stay off the internet for now if you don't want to get these spoilers, but regardless, as some of you may know, some people in Japan got early copies of the new Smash Bros. Game, and I actually stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning last night watching them. This is not healthy at all, but the hype was real. Sadly, the hype was also not so real, because it ended up being the exact same as the ESRB leak that we've all seen. Now, that's not to say there isn't still possibly new stuff in the demo, except for, not demo, but the full game. Character-wise, it is. We know that these are the final set of characters. Upon unlocking the last character, which I think for both people was Rob, it did say, you've unlocked everyone, now you've unlocked All-Star Mode, and you've unlocked a bunch of features. The true battle begins. So, in terms of this being like the final character roster, I am 100% sure that for now, this is the final roster. If the Wii U version brings free DLC, or if it brings paid DLC, expansion packs like Mario Kart 8 or Hyrule Warriors in the future, we'll have to see. All in all, I am extremely pleased with this roster. And I think the people who are disappointed, the problem is they're not looking at the big picture. Like, sometimes you forget that characters are in a game. For instance, like, don't you remember the fact that this is the game that we already have Mega Man and Little Mac and Robin and Shulk, all these amazing characters. Once they've been revealed, you already know that and you kind of put it in the back of your mind. You know, like Pac-Man and Rosalina and Greninja, all these characters that I think, like, there was hype for when they were announced, but you sort of got used to it. And the problem is, like, now that you'll finally be able to try out all these characters in different combinations, it'll be awesome. But I think people are just looking at the final unannounced characters. And even Brawl had this. Brawl had, I think, 12 unannounced characters, veteran and newcomer in total. And some people weren't very pleased with the fact that it was, the new ones were like Lucario, Toon Link, if you could count that, because he's a clone, Wolf, who's also a clone, and Rob, who was the crazy newcomer type, retro representative. And in this time, instead, we got, in terms of unannounced newcomers, we got the Duck Hunt dog, which I'll get to my opinion of him in a sec, Bowser Jr., my opinion of him also in a sec, and then finally, two characters who... It's weird. See, Dr. Mario and Dark Pit, and Lucina too. She's already been announced though. I have never thought of them as separate characters. Due to their placement on the roster, I've always just thought of them as, and even how Sakurai himself said Lucina was like started as an alt costume, and how Alf is an alt costume for Olimar, but an actual alt costume. I think the problem was that there were inconsistencies. Like, with Alf and Olimar, they're the same. Even though they have slightly different dimensions, hitbox-wise, it still totally works. But when you get to, say, Lucina, and you look at Lucina's sword, and even her body size, it is different from Marth. And if they were to make it match up, it wouldn't look right. So Sakurai was like, okay, instead I'm gonna make it so that they're different. And on the one hand, I can understand people being angry, thinking like, oh, waste of a slot, even though, I mean, even if you got rid of Lucina, Dark Pit, and Dr. Mario, this would still be an amazing roster. But they're just there as nice extras. But like, so that was Lucina. With Dr. Mario, can you imagine if Sakurai gave Dr. Mario Flood? Or didn't give him the electricity for his smash attacks? People would be angry, and those are mechanic changes. So, I can understand Dr. Mario getting a separate slot, because if he was just a costume, I think people would be equally as angry. Finally, Dark Pit. Now, I'm actually super disappointed with Dark Pit. I'm gonna be very honest. Kid Icarus Uprising is my favorite game of all time. When I saw Dark Pit was in, at first I was like, okay, that's strange. Not a Wii Fit trainer style change for voice clips and name, but well, whatever. And then we finally got to look at him as the separate character, and I haven't played him yet, mind you. But the only differences I see are a slightly different neutral A combo. His side B now uses the electroshock arm instead of the upper dash arm, and his arrows are purple. Oh, and a different final smash too. But it's like, did that warrant a different character? And I guess the only thing was, that is, Kid Icarus and Kirby are Sakurai's babies. You cannot deny it. And, he might have initially gave Dark Pit as a costume as well. But then you get the thing of like, well, Dark Pit never uses the sacred treasures, at least I'm fairly certain. And, it would create some inconsistencies, and because it's his baby, he did want to separate it. Do I agree with these changes? Not so much. But, hey, I'm still gonna play it. They're nice extras. The fact that, we don't get Dark Pit as, just a color palette. We get, like, his name, a bit of his personality, too, which is something that, because it's the Japanese version, we're not gonna get. Some people probably can't even tell that there's a difference in voice clips. But, like, the different Anthony Del Rio clips, and if there is the Kid Icarus style, smash taunts, which are maybe even hidden in the game, which we haven't discovered yet, just goes to show, it might not be as bad when we get it. But for now, I can understand people being angry. Now, back to the other newcomers, though. Duck Hunt Dog. Oh my god. I was worried at first. When I first saw Duck Hunt Dog, I'm like, that looks stupid. And then I sort of warmed up to it. And then I saw the footage, and I'm like, holy crap, this character was made to be in Smash. It's quirky, it's weird, it references a bunch of series. It's not just Duck Hunt. You got Hogan's Alley, you got Wild Gunman, and it seems to just represent the Zapper as a whole, which is super cool. And it's just really cool that, just such a character that only Sakurai could make work. And yes, I see a lot of people saying, like, this is the closest you'll get to Banjo and Kazooie. In terms of normals, I agree. Specials, not so much. But it's like, maybe if the custom specials end up being like an egg shooting move or something, then we can start saying, it's Banjo-Kazooie. But I think for now, Duck Hunt Dog as a character on its own is super cool. But the one I think is even cooler is Bowser Jr. Now, when I first saw the leak, I was very, very, very against Bowser Jr. I've never liked Bowser Jr. as a character. He's kind of cool, but he's not cool. And another Mario character would just be like, okay, here we go again. But, like, when I saw he was in the clown car, I'm like, okay, that's actually showing something really different. Like, we don't have a character who's always in a vehicle, sort of like Eggman style or something. Also saw a lot of people requesting Eggman. Why? No, stop. Don't request Eggman. And I just think the way he attacks and the way he works as a character is so cool. And it's, again, something only Sakurai would do. And I think the thing with both Duck Hunt and Bowser Jr., and in fact all the newcomers in general, they all have something unique to them. Rosalina and Luma have the whole, the desynchronizing from Ice Climbers is part of their moveset, and it's on purpose. Little Mac and the Power Meter. You got Mega Man being a fully ranged character. You got Robin with his mid-air smash attacks. All these characters have such unique things about them, which is slightly worrying considering the regular characters are a lot more basic. But I don't think it's going to be something that, really hurts the game in the end. I think it is a good thing. Finally, I think an interesting thing is going back to like the alt costumes and stuff. Bowser Jr. doesn't have colors. Instead, he just gets one for every Koopaling, which I think is really cool and a great choice. Like, Sakurai could have easily just done, just said no, it's just gonna be normal. But no, he went the full 9 yards and was like, yeah, we're going to make every single one have a different color clown car and be the different Koopaling. And the fact that their names and voices change is really cool. I mean, because they already got, like, the programming for that, if you will. They've had that in Brawl with Wario and his different costumes. But now that we actually have different costumes that can have different voices and different names even, like with Alf for Olimar, I just think it opens a lot of opportunities for future Smash games or DLC in the future. Alt colors. We actually saw the alt colors a little earlier. I'm just going to point out some of the ones that I really liked, that I've heard some people talking about, but not that much. The first one is Luigi from the anime movie that was like just a really weird Mario anime. They made one episode, and from what I heard, it's strange, it's weird, it's Japanese, and I just really like that they're referencing this really weird part of Mario's history. Good on them. Next one is the black and yellow alts for a bunch of characters, like Peach, Rosalina, and Marth. They all have this really cool color scheme of it being like black and yellow, or gold even, if you will. I just think it looks really cool, and you know, synchronization doesn't really help that in pre-release pictures Sakurai kept shipping together like Peach and Marth, but also Peach and Link, so it's kind of, I don't know, man. Next up, Palutena. She has some sweet alts because she has Viridi, Medusa, and Hades dresses. Well, Hades toga, but like their color schemes in dress form. I guess one thing that this works with Palutena and all characters really is most of them don't change their hairstyle, which I think is an overarching thing. Where, for instance, like with Sonic and Pac-Man, they don't change their color. They get additions that change their accents, but their main color stays the same, and a lot of characters' hair colors stay the same. And I think the big reason for this is this idea of iconicness that has to stay with the alt colors. I'm not a legal guy, I don't know anything legally, but I'm pretty sure Sonic and Pac-Man were told to stay that color. They were told, like, you can't change. Sonic is blue. Sonic's the blue blur. Pac-Man he's the yellow dot. Like, that is his thing. So I'm pretty sure that was beyond Sakurai's controls. Something that's a little strange is, like, Charizard gets some decent colors. Like, nothing amazing, but some decent colors that are kind of different. Greninja gets amazing colors. Oh, I love all of his colors. They all work well and they all look different. Pikachu and Jigglypuff have their hats, which look great. I love them. You know, when they reference the other characters from the games, it looks awesome. But for some reason, Lucario got the short end of the stick. And he didn't even get a shiny color. And this is strange, because, like, Lucario's shiny color is a pre-made player too, if you will. And so it really makes me wonder, like, for example, what are they going to do with Pokken? You know, you're going to need different ones. But, it's just strange why they were allowed to give color swaps for the others, but not Lucario. And it makes me sort of think that there's something going on behind the scenes with the Pokemon Company wanting to make Lucario like a mascot, if you will. A recognizable mascot. One color of him that I do like that a lot of people overlooked is, I think it's his 6th color. You'll see it, I'll point it out in the video. Where it's just his regular color scheme, but the blue and yellow are more vibrant. And I like to sort of just call this like the anime Lucario, because in the anime, his yellow is yellow and his blue is blue. And then when he's in Smash Bros, they're more subdued, just to at least a little more fit the color scheme, if you will. And I really like that color. It's nothing huge, but it's still cool. What else? Chrom Ike. There's an Ike that a lot of people say resembles Chrom, and the more I look at it, the more I see it. At first I was like, what are you talking about? But now I sort of see it. It helps if you squint. And I just think it's a cool color, because, hey, Chrom's not playable. But you can sort of make him. And speaking of Chrom, Lucina's costumes are amazing. Every single one is a reference to another Fire Emblem character. There's no just like, it's Lucina but red. No, it's Lucina, but it's actually Anna from Fire Emblem. And you got Tharja, and Naui, and Tiki. All the girls that I absolutely love. absolutely love. Every single one's my waifu. Finally, stages. Well, not finally. Still more after that, but stages. I, at first, was a little saddened that not every character's getting a new stage. A lot of them are just stuck with old stages. You know, Fox has Corneria, Samus has Brinstar, you got, Jungle Japes. I mean, these are going back to Melee, which isn't bad. I love those stages, Brinstar is a little more iffy, but I love the stages, so I don't think it's a problem. Like, Corneria is a stage I still play, and I really hoped would be brought back, and I'm happy. I'm okay in the end. Like, it's sad to see, like, there's no stage based off of, say, I don't know, Sonic Generations for the 3DS. Like, can you imagine Casino Night Zone? Oh, it would have been beautiful. Or a new Mega Man stage, like something based off of the Game Boy games. Or even just like another one based off of Mega Man 2, maybe like, I don't know, Metal Man's Lair or something. I don't know, but in the end, it's not too big of a deal. And I mean, like, I could forgive Olimar, because, well, Olimar's never had a game on 3DS. Although a Chibi Robo stage would work really well. But all in all, it's still a great roster of stages. The two that I really looked at that I love are Magicant for Earthbound, Mother, because it references, number one, both Mother 1 and 2, and it's one of the few areas that actually connect the Mother universe, if you will. Because it's like, Mother 1 and 2 are loosely related through the use of Magicant, and then Mother 2 and 3 are related through, Porky. And I just think it's a really cool stage, and the fact that the sky rips open, and you see in the background clips of Earthbound and Mother, oh, that's so cool. I really do hope that this sort of, I don't know, paves the way for a re-release of Mother 1 and 3. I didn't see any Mother 3 influence, which I guess makes sense because I don't think there's Magicant. I mean, unless you want to put in some Magipsies, but I don't know if the ESRB would like that. But yeah, this stage is awesome. Just the stuff in it, everything about it. I really like this stage. And the music's good too. It's very peaceful, which is good. I think peaceful stage music is really nice. And then finally the F-Zero stage. This one is just, number one, it's based off of the SNES, which, I mean, it's the SNES. Who doesn't love the SNES? And it's like, it's 16-bit, there's Mode 7, and it actually looks like a good stage. Like, all the F-Zero stages have been okay. They've kind of always been like, avoid the cars, but this one's less avoid the cars and more, you know, use the cars as platforms, which is kind of cool. But like, not in a sideways way, but a forward way. I think it's a cool stage, and one that I've actually heard people say, wait, that might not be banned. So we'll see. I really doubt there'll be any tournaments on the 3DS anyways. Finally, last topic is the new boss for Classic Mode, where I think if you're on, I don't know the difficulty number, but like, you know, you got Master Hand, and then you go higher, you get Crazy Hand, and then if you go higher, and I think it starts at either 6 or 7 for the difficulty, you can fight Master Core, which basically has Master Hand burst open, and the stuff inside of it being what looks like shadow bugs from Subspace Emissary coming together to make this giant, well, bunch of different things. You know, turns into a scorpion, turns into a bunch of swords, turns into a giant man, which is terrifying, who picks up and throws the stage around. And then it turns into you. It turns into a larger shadow version of you, which you actually kill by like actually knocking down its health, but its health is invisible. I think it's so cool that there's just such a crazy Eldritch Abomination boss that's actually kind of scary, and I love that. It is a pretty scary boss, and its movements are crazy. It's fourth wall breaky. Like Master Hand and Crazy Hand, this one, they seem a lot more fun. Like, they're throwing down Kraft singles cheese slices onto the stage, you know, passing balls between each other. It's like, they're so fun. All of a sudden, his head bursts open, bugs fly out on the bottom screen, it gets corrupted and stuff, and purposely. And finally, when you kill the shadow form of you, all that's left is a giant smash ball, which you just wail on until you blast it out of the stage. It is such a cool idea. And it's like, I'm so happy. This is what Taboo should have been in Smash, in Subspace Emissary. Honestly, I could not have wished for a better boss. And he doesn't look unfair. I think that's the big thing. He looks hard, but from what I've seen, he is definitely not unfair. Like Taboo and his freaking, I'm gonna do the waves that you have to avoid. No, it's like, there's stuff that he does that is, like, avoidable. And it's your fault if you get hit. So, all in all, from not having played Smash Bros, but watching it since 4 this morning, well no, till 4 this morning, you know, from whatever, I think it was 8 o'clock last night or whatever, I am super excited for Smash 4. I understand there's people who are sad about no Ridley, no Geno, no King K. Rool, the usual suspects really, and I guess that's the thing, you know, it's like, you gotta realize that not every character you want is in. Like, I want a custom Robo playable. Or, I've always wanted... There's a bunch of characters I want, but none of them really seemed realistic. Except for Little Mac. And I got him. But, yeah. Those are my thoughts on Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. The big everything that happened with it. Thank you for listening. If you like these opinion pieces, I don't know, like or something. It'd be cool. It'd be nice to gauge, you know. But, yeah. Thanks for listening / watching, and more Let's Plays are coming in the future. Ciao.